Hey everyone, and welcome to this video about scope in JavaScript. Scope refers to the accessibility of variables within your code. Where you define a variable determines where it can be used. Let's explore different types of scope. First, we have global scope. Variables declared outside any function or block have global scope. They are accessible from anywhere in your script. Here, we declare number and string. Now let's log the global variables to the console. We can access them directly because they are global. We're logging both number and string and can do that on the same line. Let's run the code and see the output in the console. There we have it. The output is visible on the console. Now let's talk about function scope. Variables declared inside a function are only accessible within that function. They are scoped to the function. We'll be doing an add function to illustrate what happens. This add function takes two arguments, x and y, and returns their sum. Let's introduce a variable inside the function. We declare a variable named temp and initialize it to 10 inside our function. This variable will only exist and be usable within the add function. Now to show you that temp is only function scoped, let's console.log the temp variable. If this variable was global, we would get 10, but since it is function scoped, we will receive an error. We get a reference error because temp is not defined outside the function. Finally, let's look at block scope. This applies to variables declared within a block of code, such as an if statement, a for loop, or just using the curly brackets. Here's an example of variable declaration within a for loop. Let's start with I equals 0, and as long as I is less than 10, increase I by 1 in each iteration. This counter will start as 0, and in each iteration, its value will increase by 1. Now we'll console.log counter outside the block scope. If this was global, we would get 10, but since it is block scoped, we will receive an error. Again, we get a reference error because counter is only defined within the block. Let's add the console.log for counter inside the block scope. And if we run this code, we can see that we're still getting our original one, and hello there. And below that, we have the number 10, because console.log was moved within the block. And that is the explanation of scope. I hope this video clarified the concept of scope in JavaScript. Remember, understanding scope is crucial for writing clean and error-free code. Thanks for watching, and happy coding.